to session 2 of the Micro WSLConf, or WSLConf 1.5, I think we're calling it now.
Yep.
A virtual event for the WSL community. My name is Sohini Roy. I'm a product manager for Ubuntu on WSL here at Canonical. This is my colleague Hayden. I'll let him introduce himself.
I was tweeting, yeah. Hi, I'm Hayden. I'm the engineering manager for Ubuntu on WSL.
Get off of Twitter, Hayden. Gosh, we know you're popular. It's fine. We're so excited to be hosting WSLConf again and officially launched session 2. It's great to be reunited with this awesome community, especially since our first WSLConf way back in March. And it seems like a completely different universe, but let's go ahead and take a look back and see how much has happened since then. We last got together in March 2020, the first ever WSLConf. Originally, we had flights, hotels, restaurants were booked to meet what was a small group of passionate WSL 1 users, and we were going to be on the Microsoft campus. We then had to quickly pivot to be a virtual event. And I think we did all of the changes in a matter of 4 days. It was crazy. We were really bummed at the time. Then what we didn't realize at the time is that we got to broaden the access that people had to the WSL insights, to the really cool innovations that we were doing. And we had people all over the world join us. We have the videos from WSLConf March 2020. And since then, 42,000 times reviewed on YouTube. And I think that number is even growing due to this conference. While we wait to make an in-person WSLConf event a reality, we couldn't wait to get everyone back together and bring some much needed life and innovation and joy back to 2020. We decided to add an all virtual conference event for the fall. So here we are. Seeing the global presence we had last time, we adjusted our schedule to reach more of this growing community around the world. So some of us are joining us at crazy times. Some of you are working all day and then coming in. Some of you are staying up all night to do this. And we're so grateful to bring that global community together. It's been a really big year for WSL. After WSLConf in March, WSL 2 launched, general availability in May, Windows 2004. GPU compute landed in Windows Insider shortly right after, and a few weeks ago, WSL 2 was backported to existing Windows service rings and opening up WSL 2 users for even more of us, which was so cool. GUI app and audio support is just around the corner, and we can't wait. The distros, including Ubuntu, Penguin, and Kali, we're just continuing to innovate on top of WSL and bring the best of Linux and working together to do that. And that's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, hopefully you know a little bit about WSL. The WSL is a platform that intersects numerous open source communities. It's what makes this group so special. We've got Linux distributions, developer tool chains, and open source applications. It makes open source accessible for 1 billion Windows 10 users. And it breaks boundaries and opens up new opportunities for open source for all of us. WSL had 3.5 million monthly active users, and it grows more popular every day. I had to check myself in that million because that number is crazy to me, and I love it. And I think that's what's driving this community here. Developers are using WSL to create stunning web experiences and submit patches to the Linux kernel. DevOps engineers and sysadmins are using WSL to maintain mission-critical infrastructure at work. And most importantly, Linux users are taking their first steps on Linux command line with WSL. And that's what we set out to do. When Hayden and I first met, we talked about our shared vision, a piece of which was increasing access to Linux. Open source is empowering, and it connects us and it accelerates innovation. It shouldn't be scary or something that's reserved for the elite, but for anyone who's curious and wants to learn from teachers around the world, all different ages, all different languages, and it's great to be here. Yesterday was epic. We heard about database development with WSL, how to achieve a beautiful Mac OS-like developer experience with WSL 2. It nearly brought tears to my eyes. when we saw exclusive demos from Microsoft and NVIDIA on what's coming next. That was awesome. NVIDIA announced ray tracing support coming soon. Microsoft announced that they're going to make it even easier to install Ubuntu distro and soon other distros with a simple WSL -- install and have everything set up automatically, super quickly out of the box. We previewed GUI support, which was so cool. They announced for the first time that we'll be able to mount external drives. And then Hayden and I also shared some tips and tricks for deploying WSL in the enterprise, making sure you were empowered with, how to have the conversations in your business with the people you work with to make sure that everyone's comfortable with WSL. And it was amazing, but if you missed it, don't worry, we got you. It's all recorded and will be updated and emailed out to you through your YouTube channel. But I've been itching for today. It felt like the night before your birthday where you really can't sleep. We have a lot of really cool content coming out today. We're going to do a demo of my favorite trend, Kubernetes. We have Uno, which uses WSL on Windows to create cross-platform applications. So we're really excited to hear from Uno, which is similar to Nuno, who's doing the Kubernetes demonstration. Very cool. Our WSL Corsair. We're going to hear Docker Desktop for Windows, an update on sysinternals for Linux, WSL2 kernel hacking, and then a workshop on using snap packages on WSL2, which I know everyone can't wait for that. We have an awesome, diverse community with leaders from so many different areas. We have speakers from Microsoft, Canonical, Whitewater Foundry, Docker, NVIDIA, HPE. I mean, this community is growing like crazy, and I've loved how much it's being adopted by these different groups. We have 3 Microsoft MVPs, 2 CNCF ambassadors, 1 Docker captain, 1 Oracle groundbreaking ambassador. But none of this would have been possible without Hopin. For this all virtual WSL conference. We examined a lot of different virtual conferencing platforms. We found one that we think you'll enjoy. That'll produce a lot of actual conference features that we're used to in person. We all just took advantage of that networking one-to-one where we were randomly matched with another person. I know it seems weird at first, but I think everyone we talked to last time, they love that interaction. They love meeting somebody new. And that's the part that you're going to remember the most. That's the part that you're going to take away. Because we're all pretty deprived of meeting new people and going out. I would definitely recommend everyone checking that out. We've got breakout sessions and Q&As. We had one breakout session and Q&A with Microsoft yesterday, and we had one this morning. We had a guest speaker, Martin Winpress, aka Woodby, who came, and that was really awesome to ask him a lot of questions and get the, deep dive on what he really thinks. And that was fun. So we're going to have more of that throughout the day. We also have vendor booths from Microsoft, Whitewater Foundry, and us. Be sure to click the button register interest. We're going to send out as many t-shirts as we can for people who register interest. It's also available for anybody who has any questions or wants to follow up with anyone afterwards. We've got one of our field engineers, David, who's a pro with WSL, who's going to be there to answer any of your questions, set up a one-to-one chats, and share screens if you want it, and follow up with you afterwards if that's what you need. So we're creating that booth-like experience as best as we can. And again, we couldn't do it without Hopin. We're so grateful. So in closing, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us yesterday or for 24 hours. It's been really cool. It's going to get even better. We hope you learned something new here. We hope you meet someone new. Definitely check out a lot of the really cool features. We want to bring Linux and open source to everyone. And we couldn't do without you, trailblazers and innovators. And that's the essence of the WSL community.